Harden to the cutter. The layup goes for Reggie Perry. Steve Clifford tries to mix and match.
It's so nice to watch the ease in which Harden makes the game for his teammates, and clearly.
So Kem Birch has come in, and he's made some things happen. 7 points. Harden, the Euro for 2. The Beard going to the basket. Bone with a head of steam. Shamet got a hand and intercepts. Harden accelerates to the hoop. James Harden.
Control that comes along with it. But right there, he could be at a certain pace. Prior to this, they've struggled.
Harden goes behind the back. Green straight away. Yes, sir. James Harden. He has got a tremendous feel.
It's Harden's eyes in this play. He's looking, gets it back, wide open. Look for Jeff Green. They'll be able to push one another.
Cole Anthony needs some help. Harden steps in for the steal. Harden moves it ahead, whips it to Harris, reverse layup. A thing of beauty. The Beard leading the break. Success.
Defensive play here by James Harden. And passing prowess. Get used to it. That's a lot though of what we see out of Nikola Vucevic. It's at a 10th season. Every single year he's added to his game.
Pull up, Durant, splash. Harden crosses. 10 to shoot. Tight defense there from Anthony. Harden, fend off, fade, got it. Rebounded by Harden. Lob it up. Oh, Green finishes! It looked like that ball might float out of bounds. Instead, Green snares it and lays it in one motion.
And just puts it right in a perfect spot. That was a great catch and finish there from Jeff Green.
Picked up by Vucevic, mismatch. Harden sizes him up. Step back Jay, he's got it. Rattles down for James Harden. So a team that has really struggled scoring. Green off a made basket. The Nets get down the floor in a hurry. Attack mode.
Go down and then there you go. Once again, Jeff Green on the run. What a finish.
Touchdown. Jordan hands to Harden. Floats it up. Rimming in. Breezes the rim. Birch, offensive rebound, knocked out of his hands, and Luwawu Cabarrot comes away with it. Harden ahead to Shamet, who lays it in.
The vision of James Harden. Nice cut, staying wide by Landry Shamet.
Knotted up at 81 apiece. 2-for-1 opportunity. Harden, king of the 2-for-1. A 3. Bullseye for the Beard.
Get ready for the step back. Nice screen by Joe Harris. Oh, buckets. You know, you hope for him it's okay. Ankles can be funny.
Oh, what a setup. Harden, the no-look feed for the Perry flush.
James Harden is lethal. And that's also on the delivery.
Rebound fought for Perry. Nice effort as he out-rebounded Clark. Right down the middle. Bank shot is good for James Harden. Harden handles it. Ball fake. Perimeter. Durant. Bottom. A 3.
Time. Inside. Outside. Kevin Durant. Bottoms.
Harden against Ross. Step back Jay. Sweet. James Harden. Harden screen Durant. 2-man game. Durant's jumper is there. 35 for Kevin Durant. He's filling it up.
Thanks a lot. I'm joined by James Harden. James, how good does this one feel getting a win in your Nets debut?
It felt really good. The guys got after it. I mean, you know, individually I got to stop turning the basketball over, but that comes with chemistry, that comes with practice, that comes with watching film. So first game, I'm glad to get a win, and we just got to keep going.
You've only been here a little over 48 hours. What was it like building chemistry on the fly?
I mean, when you're playing with really, really good players, it's pretty easy. For me, you just got to learn reads, learn where guys like the ball. just learn our personnel, individually. So once I get that, the turnovers are cut down, and I'll be more efficient.
All right, James, bear with me as I go through these numbers. 14 assists, which is a franchise record in a debut with the Nets. First player in franchise history to get a triple-double in your debut, and you're the first player in NBA history to get a 30-point triple-double in a debut with the team. What does this mean to you to have such an electric start?
Nothing. I'm just happy we came away with the win. Those stats don't mean anything. I just try to do everything on the court in my ability to help the team win, and I'm just glad we came away with one. Now we got to watch film and get ready for the next game.
Enjoy the win. We'll see you on Monday. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
James, congrats again on the win. Your teammates out there learning, getting to know you. What did you, though, learn about your teammates tonight?
We have some special talent in his locker room. Very versatile shooters, playmakers, defenders, a little bit of everything. And that's what you're going to need, especially when it comes postseason. Obviously, we haven't built as much chemistry as we would like. But that first game, it felt good to be out there on the court and just, giving guys confidence, giving guys energy. That's what it's going to take throughout the course of the year. And once you build that up and guys believe in each other, then it's pretty scary.
Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Hey, James, I'm wondering if there was any sense of this was like riding a bike, getting back out with Kevin Durant.
I'm a hooper. So I just like I said, I'm very unselfish. I'm willing to just do whatever it takes to win. And obviously, KD is just a elite, like just different type of basketball player as far as the way he's able to score the basketball. It's so easy for him, and I know that. So I just want to make it a little bit more easier if I can. And then for the rest of the teammates, our shooters and our bigs, make it easier for them. So yeah, it was pretty easy out there.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
James, yesterday you said when you were asked what talent do you need to improve or emphasize or whatever, you said playmaking. And it seemed like that's what you were concentrating on tonight. You got everybody's shots, you distributed the ball, you moved it quickly, and then when you had to, you turned it on offensively. So can you say, is that, do you expect that to be your approach going forward, especially when they add Kyrie Irving to the mix?
For me, I'm just, I have so many dimensions to my game. I just take whatever the defense gives me. I play the game the right way, or at least I try to every possession, and just take whatever the defense is giving me. And like I say, whoever has a hot hand, that's who deserves the ball. The basketball finds energy. It finds people that have good energy, good spirit. So that's what I try to bring to the game tonight.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Hey, James, it's hard to get in somebody else's head, but I mean, you made it pretty clear that you wanted to be in Brooklyn, and at least it seemed like you were really enjoying yourself out there tonight. I'm just curious, now that the game's over, I mean, did it feel like what you expected, and how did it feel? How would you describe it?
It felt unbelievable. I mean, I hope you can tell by my smile and my play. Just excited and for the opportunity. This is an unbelievable organization from top to bottom. And, for me, all I have to do is just go out there and be the best, James Harden I can be. And, good things will happen.
Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey, James, one thing about you and Kyrie and KD as it pertains to you guys' offensive talent is that you guys can kind of tell what the defense is going to do before they do it. How do you think that is going to help guys like Joe, guys like DeAndre, when the defense can't really help off of, we saw today, defense can't help off of Joe. He's going to hit a three. Defense can't help off of the guy down low. You got to throw the lob up top. How does that make this team better that you guys all know what the defense is going to do and they can't really double you?
Once we go through every scenario, and it's only maybe 4 or 5 that teams can really do against us, and throughout the course of the year that's going to happen, once we figure out, okay, they're doing this tonight, this is how we attack it, or they're doing this tonight, this is how we attack it. Once we get that, it's basically up to us. And I'm so excited for Kai to get back. He's a key piece to what we're trying to do. And, the chemistry, as soon as we can build that, as soon as we can be on the court together, it's going to be scary hours.
Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, James. Joe and Kevin were kind of saying how, early on everyone was maybe a little too pass happy and not taking shots. It's just what point in the game did you kind of start to feel you got into a rhythm and got comfortable?
I mean, I had, 9 turnovers throughout the game, and maybe 6 or 7 of them were to, looking to get guys and DeAndre get them lobs. That's me being unselfish. That's me trying to get guys involved. But at the end of the day, I just still got to be a player at the end of the day and score when I need to score, and when the pass is there, do it. So first game, I'm happy to get it out the way. Now we can watch some film and get ready for our next opponent.
Brian Mahoney with the Associated Press.
Hey, James, how did your preparation today? Did you know for sure you'd get to play, or if not, when did you find out? And, without not knowing many of the kind of plays and things like that, is it almost more fun that you get to figure it out yourself a little bit more as opposed to kind of having things scripted?
I mean, I have, had multiple conversations with our coaching staff on what we're trying to accomplish on both ends of the ball. So pretty much I'm familiar with it, and I know, where spots where to put our players in. And then it makes it easier when you have Kevin Durant on your team who can take some of the pressure off of you as well. So like I said, it's a long way to go. It's a process, but I think just watching film, getting better, learning where guys like to be. We have some unbelievable shooters, trying to get them more shots so they can feel more involved in the offense, getting our bigs more, paint points, and just kind of directing people and guiding people to where, they should be so they can be more effective. I think once that happens, our team will be a lot better.
Ian Begley with SNY.
James, it's not a basketball question, but could you share anything about what you had to give Landry Shamet for number 13?
I'm sure he'll post it when I give it to him. Nah, that's big time though. For him to sacrifice that, I got to make sure I get him something.
And last question, Jen Williams with Fox 5 New York.
Hey James, you said you came to Brooklyn to play for a contender. I know it's just the first game, but keeping that in mind, how are you feeling about that decision after the first game?
It felt great. I mean, even from when I stepped foot into the building, there was open arms, and like I said, it's anything I need, they're there for me. They're making sure I'm getting my work in, making sure that everything is laid. So all I got to do is go out there and just be me. For me, in return, I got to make sure everybody is is feeding off that. And tonight was a really good start. Hopefully, next game we have Kai back and just keep this thing rolling.
From Barclays Center, joined by Richard Jefferson, who is at his home in Los Angeles. Richard, Harden, Durant, we know it's a Stars League, and wow, was their performance special tonight. What stood out most to you about the win in Harden's debut?
Congratulations, Nets fans. Congratulations. You don't know how long these moments last. You don't know when they come and when they go. But what stood out to me is that this team, when healthy, is going to be a problem. Now, do they have every single thing that is needed in order to be considered, the favorite or a team that's guaranteed to go to the finals? No, they have work to do. But boy, when I tell you that the entire league looking around seeing James Harden all of a sudden wake up and get 14 assists in his debut, to see Kevin Durant go for 42. And this is what I like. Kevin Durant is a scorer. Kyrie Irving, even though he is a point guard, is also a scorer. But what you know with James Harden is that he has led the league in assists. So he knows how to get himself involved. He knows how to get his teammates involved. So when everyone's talking about, okay, well, who's going to handle the ball? Who's going to do this? I think James Harden really running that point and allowing Kyrie and KD to be just dominant scorers and him being the person that kind of navigates his game, I think that could be a real problem.
Well, I mean, no question about it. And, Richard, I think that was one of the things that stood out most, right? First few possessions out of the gate, Harden was all about distributing, breaking down his performance tonight. As we take a look, Richard, what you see from James Harden?
Well, again, that's what I was looking at. I was looking at, I said the role players, and I love what Joe Harris did. I love seeing Bruce Brown, that play late in the game where it was Harden to Durant. Then all of a sudden, Durant makes the right play and throws it to a wide open Bruce Brown. Those are the guys that have to knock down shots when you look at championship teams. It's the Bruce Brown. It's the Joe Harris, because the Stars are going to get attention. And with James Harden, Kyrie, these are guys that entire defenses, a team spends their entire practice and focus, how do we stop James Harden? How do we stop Kevin Durant? When they were on individual teams, now you have all three of them on the same team. It's going to be nearly impossible. They are going to be getting more single coverage than they have ever had. For Kevin Durant, a guy that played with the Splash Brothers, now all of a sudden he's got the a very, very similar spacing because you have so many quality players. And James, again, it just goes down to his assists. His assists are the things that are going to make this team run.
Well, 32 points, 14 assists, 12 rebounds. You add in 4 steals as well. Did have 9 turnovers. And I like that that was one of the first things he brought up to Michael Grady in his post-game interview, saying, I got to clean up the turnovers. But, Richard, I think what was so striking, and we've already talked about it some, was, people have seen James Harden play a certain way in Houston over the last couple of years. And so there have been conversations about, dribbling the air out of the basketball, how they're going to continue to get everyone involved. But these players wanted this, which obviously shows their inclination to want to do whatever they have to win. And James Harden has shown that ability to play make, and it's not just that he has the skills to do it, Richard. There's the buy-in now to not play the way he was in Houston and to access more of those playmaking abilities, and we saw that already in Game 1.
Ryan, I 100% agree with you. What you have to do is you have to look around the league sometimes. And James Harden has led the league in assists. And then as his team and the dynamic of his team started to change, he then started to be like, okay, well, I'm going to go and average 34 points a game. Look at a guy like LeBron James. You add Anthony Davis on his team, and what does he do? He goes and leads the league in assists at 10 a game. I really think that James Harden, even though we're in the very beginning of the season, could lead the league in assists if he chooses to play that way. And so when you ask James, like, James, what is your goal? Sometimes it's to be the leading scorer. Sometimes it's to be the MVP. These guys that are on this tier, when you talk about Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and James Harden and LeBron James, they can adjust their game. It's all a matter about what they want to do on the basketball floor. So if you tell James, like, James, we need you to average 25 and 10, or we need to average 26 and 11, he can go and do that, and pretty much with ease, especially with the arsenal around him. So I think this was a quick message to everyone on this team, everyone in this league, that, look, they're going to be able to move the ball. They're going to be able to score. The next step that we're going to be talking about is how do they play that high-level team defense that's going to be needed when you're talking about the postseason.
Richard, during the game, I thought Sarah had a very poignant and simultaneously funny remark when she said, it feels like Kevin Durant is a veteran here now with all the attention on James Harden, the newcomer, and it sort of does, but you watch the performance tonight and you realize, it's still new and it's still special to watch his greatness in all of its glory.
I stand by this fact, especially now that you see that Kevin Durant is 100% healthy. You see that James Harden might have been embellishing maybe, his conditioning and maybe his weight a little bit in Houston. Ultimately, the Nets have 3 of the top 10 players in the NBA, in my opinion. And so when you put these 3 players on the court together with a varying degree of skill, right? They can all handle the ball. They can all score one-on-one. They can all do so many different things. I think it's going to be interesting. And one point that I will add, when you have the 3 of them, the relationship with the media can be a bit difficult in the New York area. But when you have 3 superstars that are able to split the responsibility, these are something that people don't think about. It could be one day where James like, hey guys, I got it. KD, hey, you guys go take a break. I got it. Kyrie, step up, is like, hey, you guys take it. So a lot of it is not just a responsibility that's going to be split on the court, but a lot of it too is the responsibility that can be split off the court and can allow guys to kind of decompress and not have so much media attention all the time.
Well, Durant, 42 points, a season high, most in a game since Game 3 of the Western Conference semifinals back on May 4th, 2019. 16 of 26 from the floor at 4 rebounds, 5 assists. He's talked about wanting to clean up the turnovers as well. He had 6 of them tonight. But we saw that last highlight there, Richard, where he fed Bruce Brown, who's apparently has the clutch gene based on what we've seen from Bruce Brown in the fourth quarter over these last couple of weeks. But how about that, Richard? How about the way the rest of this team is able to play off of Durant and James Harden?
Yeah, and I'm going to include a guy like Landry Shamet, and I think there's going to be a lot of attention on Jeff Green, and rightfully so. You already saw some of those smaller lineups that they were playing with where Jeff Green is at, I would say, kind of the 4-5. Kevin Durant is 7 foot. He's at the 4-5. And when you're talking about size, you're talking about James Harden at 6'6". That could be your point guard, your 2-guard, your 3-man, whatever position that you need. So that's going to be key for them. If they're able to shore up their defense, and like I said, they don't have to be a top 5 defense. Not with this type of offense. Yes, it would be great to be a top 5 defense, but if they can hover somewhere between the 10 and 15 range and limit their turnovers, again, be top 10 in the league in turnovers and not 18th, not 22nd. If they could be right there at like 10 or 11, be a 10 to 15 type defense with the offensive firepower that you have on this roster, they're going to be a force. But that's going to be the number one thing. Their chemistry when things get tight and their ability to play defense and not turn over the ball. If they can do those two things, not turn over the ball and play like solid defense, I tell you what, it is going to be problems.
Richard's going to hop out of
his debut, his first game with the team, and how he looked.
Man, it was incredible. You could see him trying to figure out the best way to play early on. I felt like we all were overpassing, trying to make everybody comfortable, and then he just got into his mode of, being aggressive to score, and that opened up the whole game for all of us. So, glad he got his feet up under him, and he's got to keep plugging away, keep getting better each day.
Was there an increase? I know he's new, and of course you're going to do a lot of talking there, but kind of increased communication across the board with the team so that you guys are locked in at the task at hand? Yeah, I mean, you got James, myself, Jeff, DJ out there, Joe, guys who've been in the league for a while. I think all of us, on the same page and communicating what we need from each other on the defensive side of the ball, especially on offense. I think we were moving and flowing a little bit on offense, based off our communication. We didn't have a play coming across half and guys were talking guys through actions, and same on the defensive side of the ball. So we're only going to get better at that, and it's going to take some time for us to build up that consistency of, how we want to play on both ends, but, it was a good step.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
KD, during his introductory press conference, James was asked what part of his game he needed to improve or emphasize or whatever. He said playmaking. And he in Houston, he kind of pounded the ball. But tonight, he moved the ball. And there were moments where when you and he and Harris were moving the ball, the defense was paralyzed. What do you think this kind of debut does for him? What message does it send in terms of sacrifice and how he's willing to play and yet be able to still step up and score? Yeah, I mean, James, he played the same way he always played, to be honest. I mean, he played the same way he was playing in Houston, handling the basketball, being a pass-first guard, trying to get his guys good looks. He played the same way. And, Coach put him at the point. I think that's his natural position, to be honest, his point and, off guard, combo guard. And, for him to come out and get 14 assists, 12 rebounds for us at the point guard was key.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Stephen, you and James have, 7 scoring titles between you, and Kai probably hit the most iconic shot in the last 10 years. I mean, when you have 3 guys that are so accustomed to leading teams, getting late buckets, big shots, what's the biggest key to making sure that all 3 of you can be as good or as dominant as you're accustomed to being, but still keep the main thing?
Well, understand it's more than just us 3 on this basketball team. We going to need Joe Harris to continue to knock down shots, TLC. We'll need DeAndre to roll to the rim hard, and our bigs to come in and help set screens and rebound. And so I think it's a group effort, and that's going to open up the floor for all of us. And it's having high IQ guys who are unselfish, who want to make the extra passes. We'll see how it plays out. Each game is different. I think we want to approach each game with that attitude of just all of us being who we are and being aggressive, but being on one string, and we'll see how it goes.
Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, Kevin, obviously you and James have kept in touch and worked out together over the years, but it's been a while since you two were in an official NBA game together. Does
the rapport you two have with each other kind of translate pretty quickly, given your ties, or did it take a couple of sessions for that to really get in the full swing?
No, I mean, like I said, having veteran guys and being in the league for so long, you done worked on so many different schemes and offensive actions. You kind of know how to play the game, and it's not just me and James. Jeff's the same way, DJ's the same way, Kyrie's the same way. Guys that have been in the league for almost 10+ years, where we could just. Sometimes we don't even have to speak to know what we're thinking, and guys are just understand each other, and we've been studying each other for so long, scouting each other for so long, so that IQ is just there. It's only going to get better.
Malika Andrews.
Each of our guys better, but he, got to the line 15 times. He made threes, 12 rebounds, 14 assists, 4 steals. We know what he is. He's a world-class basketball player. So we'll continue to build and get better and try to figure this out where everyone is, a threat and we make each other better.
Michael Grady with Yes Network.
And Coach, in what ways did James exceed your expectations in a debut?
Well, I just think, he's had obviously a very strange start to the season, stop-start year. He's not in his best condition yet. So for him to do as many things as he did on the basketball floor tonight was incredible. And, it's great to get one under his belt and for him to kind of, feel his teammates in the building, and we'll just keep building. But he was, incredible for a guy who, like I said, is just trying to get himself in shape.
And the guys, around him and guys making plays, Bruce Brown, the big three late, there's going to be a lot of talk about, Kyrie, Kevin, and James, but, how important are those other guys on the roster?
Well, it can't just be, your top guy, your top 2, your top 3 guys. You got to play team basketball. Everyone's got to be a threat. Everyone's got to play their role, know their role. And so those are things we have to figure out. But, I thought I was exceptional tonight, Joe played well, Bruce played well, Jeff gave us some important veteran experience, and you go down the line and guys contributed. So it was, I think a game that could have gone the other way. We were, it took us a while to find it and to pull away, but it wasn't clean at all. It wasn't easy, but that's a tribute to their team, and but we got a lot to build on.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Hey, Steve, it's obvious it's only one game, short sample size, but I mean, when James says, well, I'm going to facilitate, and I'm going to pass, and I'm going to make my teammates better and do all those things, it's different from saying it's actually going out and doing it. How encouraging was it for you to see the way he threaded passes, the way he rebounded, the way he did all of those things that he was saying he was going to?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I'm surprised. We've had a pretty big sample size of him doing that the last 6 to however many years he's been in the league, but it's not easy. Like we said, he's not in his best condition yet. He's joined a new group, with basically no practice time, and figured it out on the fly. So, I think, he had a bunch of turnovers tonight that are just because he's new to the team and group, and you're thrown out there in an NBA game where the other team's an excellent coach basketball team, and they're going to scheme and they're going to make it difficult, and so those types of things are normal. But all the things he did accomplish on the floor were incredible for his first evening.
Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Hey, Steve, I have 2 for you. First, when you were watching from the sidelines, could you see, oh yes, I see how Kyrie's going to fit in here, boom, it's going to be easy? Or were you looking at it saying, okay, maybe there's some things that we're going to have to grow and adjust to fit him in here too?
I think we're going to have to continually find how it all works to its best level, to the most effective and efficient standard. But, like throwing Kyrie in the mix makes us better. It's a good problem to have, trying to figure out, where they can coexist to their highest level and standard. So I think it takes time. I think it's going to be an adjustment for everyone, but it's an incredible problem to have and something that I think we'll relish trying to decipher.
And secondly, there was a moment where, Kevin kicks out to Bruce Brown. You have James Harden, all smiles. Was this, where did this rank in terms of fun that you've had coaching a game this year? Because it sure looked like the players were enjoying themselves.
Yeah, I think everyone was excited. It's obviously you bring a player of James' caliber and his excitement to be here, and everyone was excited. And it's been a fun few days. As far as the performance, gosh, my head is spinning. Who did we play 3 nights ago? No, three games ago at home. A very good team. Denver. We played Denver. That was a fun evening. We played in New York and had an excellent short staff game where guys moved the ball, played together, and then tonight again, found a way to win. So it's been a fun few games for us, and we needed them. We need to build. We need some positive energy because, we've had some difficult times this year as well. And but tonight was really fun, and happy to see the guys enjoying what they do.
Ian Begley with SNY.
Steve, just I guess over the last couple of days and then moving forward, how much do you lean on or will you lean on Mike D'Antoni in terms of getting to know James's game and how best to implement him?
Well, I think it's, an invaluable resource. I think it'd be silly not to really, lean on Mike for all of his experience with James and their familiarity and how and what James likes and how he works best. So, those are conversations that I'll have with James, but we'll all have as a group and a staff. And Mike, obviously, with his insight and his relationship with James is invaluable.